Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Week in Nintendo. I'm your host this week, Steve Bowling, and I'm joined by two of my very best friends and co-hosts, Daniel Alba, and returning once again, Brandon Miracle. I'm going to dispense with the how's it going and how are yas, because we all know what we want to talk about this week. That is none other than Star Fox. This was an exciting announcement. John and I got to be on it live because we just happened to be around when Miyamoto dropped the tweet. But I'm going to throw it to you first, Daniel, because I know you've been super excited about this. What are your initial thoughts on the reveal?
God damn it. Why are we still in the Lilac Wars? I can't believe we're still doing this a fifth time, essentially, in a row. Like, you see how amazing everything looks. It looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. The lighting is wonderful. You couldn't just do that for a new title? You couldn't just extend the story somewhere? You could have just did this with Zero. You could have done something already at this point. It's like, you're going to reintroduce the series yet again. They never brought Zero to Switch. It's one of the only games on the Wii U that we never actually brought over and like adapted to Switch format. Other games have done it with the gamepad. It's probably so intrinsically locked to that style of gameplay that I don't think they can bring it over at this point. We haven't gotten anything aside from like Star Fox 64 and the SNES titles on NSO, and now we're getting the same game again. And everyone is supposed to be happy about this, and I'm not.
Ooh, wow! Coming out swinging with some with some strong opinions. Brandon, where are you at on this one?
Yesterday was my Super Bowl. So it's funny because
so
like
you're
Daniel
part
and
of
I,
the problem.
Daniel and I did a discussion about this, and I said that I didn't want like a classic Star Fox or something that's by the numbers. I guess the thing for me is like everything outside of the game being Star Fox 64 is so not by the numbers that I have completely been overcome by what this game is doing.
I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle between you guys. Like you're both on polar opposites of the spectrum here in terms of feelings about this game. And I certainly agree with Daniel that it's time to move past the Lilac Wars. I would love to see this. But on the other hand, Brandon, I agree with you in that, man, the presentation was nuts. Like just seeing the visuals, like how beautiful this is. Also, photorealism from Nintendo is just not something I expected at all.
I love how weird and kind of gross all the characters look. I know this is a big point of contention with the internet, but I saw Bird Leg Falco and I was on board.
Daniel,
my
how did
God.
you feel about the character designs?
I mean, when you look at them at first glance, you're just like, are they just going back to the puppet style? Like the actual, like, they're at a point where they're not enough animal and not enough human, because you see like they have hands, like, and when they're in the cockpit, you see that they have like, you know, opposable thumbs, they have hands, at least some characters do. And yet you see like the bottom half and Fox and Falco, they got some weird hind legs going on. Falco's chicken feet, they look too short. They're not like proportional enough. It looks weird. Like the whole thing is like you're not even going to see them from that angle as much, you would think, but now they're also doing more story involved. You're going to see them like at their base talking with General Pepper, and they're kind of moving around everywhere and having more of a narrative where they are moving around, where you are seeing like them outside of the R-Wing more often. And so it's like the things where certain angles, like you see Fox from the side, he's kind of hunched over in a weird way that makes the frontal look of his face look kind of odd. And I don't know, some of them look good. I think Peppy and Slippy look pretty good as they are, but the others maybe not maybe not so much.
It's interesting, like just the wide swath of like takes and opinions I've seen. Because I pretty much like the way everyone looks. Again, I'm kind of into the weird and kind of gross. I get why that's not everybody's vibe. I certainly do. But like you say, you love Slippy's design. And I'm hearing that Japan hates Slippy's design, and it's so funny that just there's no consensus, and I think that means this game is never going to be forgotten.
I think the thing that made the designs click for me was when I saw the characters that I wasn't so familiar with. Like, obviously, Fox and Falco, everybody who has ever played a Star Fox game has those designs, like, seared into their memory. Slippy, I was, like Daniel, a bit more comfortable with. Peppy, I was okay with. But it wasn't until I started seeing, like, James and Pigma that I was like, oh, this can work. Like I actually really like the way Pigma Dengar looks in this game. I don't mind how most of Star Wolf looks. I haven't looked at the Japanese website yet, so I haven't seen, the most detailed shots for them. I've seen like screenshots on Twitter. But I really do find myself kind of thinking, you know what, this is okay. Like they're meant to be animals, right? Like they were never. I agree with Daniel that like there's that one shot of Falco that everyone hates. I don't think anybody likes that one shot of Falco from like the side view where you can see his legs. But
That
I find
is pure
myself in an
cinema to
interesting
me. I'm sorry.
Oh my
What?
God. Jesus Christ. Like,
what do you like about that?
I just like that it's weird. That's really what it comes down to.
You're an agent of chaos, Brandon.
Pigma, I think, looks really good. They even the personality, like they've gone from I'm the slimy swine, but now he's just like a kind of just kind of a ruffian, a mercenary for hire. Like you get more of that feeling from him this time
He's
around.
a dirtbag.
He's that slimy swine, but not in like a comedic way. They're like going more towards an actual thematic, like the space opera. They're going more for that kind of style this time around, like leaning more into that. And I enjoy seeing the prologue. I wish I didn't see the whole thing because that would have been cool to watch just at playing the game itself. I don't know what's up with Nintendo and just like they can't not help but show so much about Star Fox, like with the Galaxy movie, with the stuff that we're seeing now. Because as far as I know, I feel like I've already seen most of this game now that we've seen the trailers and the bits, and I've gone through all the footage. I've done a comparison where we went through side by side with 64 and with the new Star Fox, and some of it looks like without any argument, it looks amazing. It looks great, but I just wish it was something different.
I feel like it speaks to a lack of confidence in Star Fox, though. Like the way Nintendo's approaching the media rollout for this game. I mean, one, shortest hype cycle known to man, which, to be fair, I love. I really wish Nintendo would do more. Hey, here's a game that's coming out in a handful of weeks, as opposed to, telling us about Zelda 5 years before it comes out. So I'm cool with that. But also having to give us the entire movie clip that intros Star Fox in the Star Fox Direct. I'm like, if you're watching this, you probably know who Star Fox is. Also, just side note, as somebody who, does this stuff for a living, please don't put clips of movies in directs anymore. That was hard.
Yeah, what the heck?
I didn't like that. I had to, like,
no
John
warning?
and I were panic talking over the whole thing. We're like, please just talk enough that it doesn't get flagged. And of course, as soon as it does, we got flagged and we had to cut that bit out, which we knew it was going to happen, but it takes the video down for like hours.
It's like flagged while I was watching. I'm like, wait, I need to know what else John's going to say about this guy.
It's interesting to me that you say it doesn't feel like they have confidence, because I went away from that feeling exactly the opposite. I think this might be the most confident they've ever been in Star Fox. Like, I don't come away from that trailer. I don't come away from that trailer thinking this is the last Star Fox game we're ever going to get.
Oh no.
I feel like this is an actual beginning, a full reset. Try again.
To be clear, I don't mean that. I don't mean that they don't think this game's going to do well. I don't think they would have invested the resources that they have if they didn't think there was something there. But imagine if like every Super Mario game that they reintroduced Mario, Peach, and the Mushroom Kingdom, right? Like there's a certain, these guys have been around for 40 years. You know who they are. They introduce a new Zelda. They're not like, the hero Link is a guy that wears green often, And I think with Star Fox, where I get that sense of a lack of confidence is that they had to show us the entire movie clip from the Galaxy movie that introduced him, and then also explain like he's been in games for a while, and that to me,
I think that's more so that, like, if you really look at sales numbers, there's not a lot of people who've ever even seen Star Fox, let alone played a Star Fox game.
But it's funny. It's funny because like
they vastly outweigh us.
It's funny because like the people that are dedicated enough to actually watch a direct, like not everybody watches a direct, but the people that do watch it, most likely a high percentage have already seen the Mario Galaxy movie in the first place. It's like with this kind of game, like why, Brandon? Why do we have to go back and tell the Lilac Wars again? Like why are we doing this yet again?
I don't really think this game was made for us, to be frank. I think this is a chance to do Star Fox for people who don't know what a Star Fox is. And I wouldn't be surprised if this game ended up outselling the rest of the series.
If they wanted to go for that, then the Galaxy Fox design was right there. Like, it's odd to me that we had a redesign for a character like Donkey Kong, right? It's like that basis of design was in the movie, and that design continues onward, and it kind of iterated on, of course, but it's also essentially the same style of design when we go into Donkey Kong Bonanza. And I had a feeling we were going to do something like that here when rumors started up about this game. Like, if they're going to introduce Fox in a movie and they want to make another game, have it be something that looks recognizable, that kids can be like, oh, it's that Fox from the movie that I saw. But then they see something that looks vastly different. It's like, is that still going to appeal to the young kids? Maybe not all of them, I would argue.
Now that's something that I definitely agree with. I think that it is a bit strange that we had a redesign of Fox essentially for the movie, and then, you know, the new in-game representation of Fox is like a 180 from that art direction. Like, I can understand changing the design, absolutely. It seems a bit weird to me that if you're casting the net for people who met him in the Galaxy movie, that he looks nothing like that. But that being said, I'm kind of starting to vibe with the art style. I want to ask both of you, do you think that this is like the future direction for Star Fox? Because this is the first time Nintendo's really gone for what I would say is as close to photorealism as the Switch 2 can probably handle. Do you think we're going to continue with photorealistic Star Fox, or do you think we're going to get maybe a more stylized art direction going forward? Like, they changed, for instance, Peach on the cover of Princess Peach Showtime to look a bit more like movie Peach.
It's hard to say, especially when Nintendo is doing stuff with Zelda and none of those games look like each other for the most part. I don't know. I guess for me, like, it depends on what this game does. Like, I'm pretty much on board for the most part, but I want to see how the game expands the world and everything. And if they're going to do that kind of stuff, I think I'd be interested in them just sticking with what they've done here. But I wouldn't be surprised if in a future title that they either dial it back or introduce more stylized portions of the kind of realistic designs we have here. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say, because like with Star Fox, like mostly every single title has a different art style. Like the ones from 64 look different from Assault. They look a little different from Adventures. Command had a more like simplified, soft, plasticky style. Obviously, this one is way different. The original, this one looks way like the closest we've ever been to the original SNES version. Like, they're kind of leaning back into that once more, with even the title just being Star Fox. But I mean, the way that this style is now, at the very least, they're distinct enough. Like, James McCloud actually looks like not just Fox with glasses on. He's
a different dude.
He has grayed ears. There's a scar on his snout on the side. He just feels like a completely different character now that we actually have characterization and seeing that. Like, I guess that's something they want to show off, but I don't know. It's an odd approach to my perspective.
I think, again, for me, like, it being odd and weird is what excites me. Because, like, it's weird because, like, it's both incredibly safe and the most unsafe thing they've ever done.
I will say that there's something evocative of the original Star Fox for me in this, because as a kid, when Star Fox came out, I remember thinking it was a bit odd and a bit weird, like seeing, you know, what I called Muppets on the cover of a Super Nintendo game back then. I was like, this is weird. And then you pop it in and it's, you know, the only 3D game you have on your Super Nintendo. I remember just thinking that this was kind of a wild experimental type of game that Nintendo had put together. And I feel a bit of that experimental energy with this new Star Fox. Like, the designs are definitely jarring. Like, the character designs almost feel, to a degree, intentionally off-putting. Like, they're supposed to make you think about them a bit. And then, you know, they added the whole layer of like AR stuff with the camera where you can be one of the Star Fox team members in game chat, which I think is going to be unintentionally very funny. But yeah, I think that there's something there in terms of evoking like the spirit, at least, of the original Star Fox for the Super NES, which was super cool from a technical perspective, but didn't really grab me. Star Fox 64 kind of took that formula, refined it, and made it something super replayable for me. So at least on that front, I know mechanically I'm going to love this game.
I think another exciting element to me is like when Star Fox Zero got revealed, I kind of felt nothing, very little. More frustration that it, in that case, it was another reimagining, right, of Star Fox.
Right.
But the only thing it was doing different was its control scheme, and that was already divisive. But like the visuals were kind of flat. It didn't really evolve. I guess the thing that I guess the bottom line is it just looks different, and I'm happy about that.
So let me ask you this, because to expand on Daniel's point, though, you were frustrated with Star Fox Zero because it wasn't doing enough that was new. So what is the key difference here with Star Fox that is moving the needle for you, since it is a retelling?
It's the stylistic change. Like, it's so committed to being weird that like they're committing. And it doesn't feel like Star Fox Zero, which doesn't really have an identity of its own. Like, you look at Star Fox Assault, and those character designs are weird and different, but like, I love that game because it's weird and different.
So with Zero and with this one, it's more about the art direction than the actual where they're taking the content of the game itself. Because I'm not defending Zero. I'm not a huge fan of Zero myself because of its control scheme. But upon seeing it for the first time, it at least reinterpreted Corneria and the other places that we've been at. Like, they've done different things with it where the boss is different, and obviously the control scheme is a bit difficult to deal with. But at least it was iterating in some way. You had different vehicles. They brought back the walker. They may not, be the most pleasant to control in some situations, but like, I remember doing the mission on Zonus where it's kind of like you're sneaking around. Like, you don't have anything like that in any other Star Fox game. But yeah, it's just like, are we looking for innovation or just a stylistic change that is appealing to us only?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but it's working for me. That's the thing. I guess like it's taking Star Fox 64 as kind of like this boilerplate. This is what the game is, and everything outside of that has changed and weird and different. You're going to have like those cutscenes in between missions. They're going to change seemingly based on even the route you take for the same missions. I don't know. It's just, it feels like the same thing, but so much bigger, and I don't know how they pulled it off. Like I said before, it's both safe and also not safe at all. Like, everyone's really jarred by the visual direction, but for me, like, no, hey, people are talking about it. That's important.
Looking at the game and what we've seen from the direct by itself, like, there's so much that is the same and there's so much that is different at the same time that it's going to be very divisive no matter what happens. Like, they could be hiding some things. Maybe I'm hoping so much that there's different planets, or that you can play more other extra chapters. Like, can you actually play James's prologue? I hope you can. That would be interesting to have Pigma and Peppy as your allies during that mission, and then you reach the part of the cutscene, or there's a part you play where you're trying to fend off all these ones fighting back at you when your wings are broken and you have one little laser left, and then it just kind of fades to black somewhere in there. I don't know. There's a lot they can do narratively, and I think they're reaching for that more so than ever before. But I don't know. It's just that it's still the Lilac Wars, and I can't let go. And neither can Nintendo. They're so tied to this that you can use the N64 controller for this game. They're so locked in that this is a viable control scheme that you can use for a Switch title. I really like
that control scheme.
I guess for me, it's like I think about like whenever the next Star Fox game does happen, and if it's not Lilac Wars, I feel like I'd end up looking on this game more fondly.
I do think, and I think this is I've seen this on, every platform, including our own comments quite a bit, is that this is the setup, right? Like this is the litmus test. If they can get enough interest in this 64 remake, then there's an inevitable Star Fox 2 coming, you know? And I do wonder what a future for Star Fox. We've certainly debated here at GVG what the future for Star Fox looks like when you go past the Lylat Wars. You know, it's a debate that if we're having it, Nintendo's probably had it a million times themselves to try to figure it out. And unfortunately, past comments are very discouraging in that regard, you know, because I think Miyamoto at one point had said that they would, you know, do it when they had a good idea of what to do with it. And for them to come up with another remake, I totally get is on its face quite disappointing that, you know, you haven't had another idea in 15 years since the release of 3D to do something new with the franchise. And I think there's a lot of real easy ideas just kind of out there in the ether, like an open universe Star Fox would be amazing. A fully online Star Fox could work, but I am, you know, like you said, Brandon, I am also really happy with this. Star Fox 64 for me is the high watermark for the franchise. It's the best game in the franchise, and they just showed off a version of it that is so much better than anything that they've previously done. And it adds a lot. I think for me, one of the things that I know about myself as a Nintendo fan is that I celebrate the weird baby steps that Nintendo takes that are like 10 years behind the rest of the industry. You know, I remember plugging in the HDMI to my Wii U and being like, wow, little buddy, you know, you're finally doing it. And in this case, it feels like they're embracing like more gosh, I don't even know how to say it, like filmic style storytelling. Like the cutscenes to me just look like what I want to see more of in Nintendo first party games. I want to see characters and interactions that tie a narrative, you know, that tie a narrative to amazing gameplay. And while the banter in 64 was cool, it didn't really make for like a gripping story. I never was playing 64 for the story, but this remake, I have a feeling that that'll be one of the highlights for me.
There are so many people that are very positive about this game that it makes me question, am I just being selfish? Am I being like, I don't know. Am I not supposed to feel upset about it? Because there's things about this that are just like, yeah, I see the appeal. I see where everything is going. And part of it feels like we're entering the Sonic cycle of Star Fox 64 3D comes out. Oh, so then they did this one more time. They remade it. They're going to do it so that the next one is going to be something new. Star Fox 0 comes out. Okay, they got this out of their system. They did the Wii U gamepad. The next one is definitely going to be a new game, right? Star Fox for the Switch 2 is going to be released. Okay, now that we've done this again, now definitely the next game is going to be of another region 4, and it seems most likely now more than ever if they're doing a super like other reboot of this whole thing with a new art style. But I'm just tired.
Hey, you're well within your right to be tired. I think I mentioned it before, but it's exciting to me that there are so many opinions about this that extend in so many directions, because I don't know. That's the kind of game you never stop talking about.
Yeah, and notably, you are far from the only person with this opinion. I think that I fall more on the positive side. I mean, I already pre-ordered my copy, so I'm clearly hyped, and I'm sure, you know, to some degree, all three of us are, but I don't think it's wrong to feel like they should have moved on. I know John and I, during the reaction, experienced emotional whiplash, because it was just like right before we were like, they've got to move on from the Lylat Wars. They have to. It's important. You got to. And then when we started seeing how cool this looked, it was like, oh, well, maybe I'm on board with this though. and I know that I felt a little, you know, I still want Star Fox to move beyond this one story we've been playing, to see something beyond this. But just again, you know, kind of in between you and Brandon, where I agree with pretty much most of what both of you guys are saying. For me, it's just, I have this feeling like I see this game and I'm like, wow, this is the idealized version of one of my favorite N64 games, of one of my favorite games, period. And I'm not going to lie, if they do the same thing with the rumored Ocarina of Time remake, I'm going to lose my mind then too.
I think one of the things I appreciate too about this game is that it's also not trying to be Star Fox 64 in a lot of ways. Like the campy dialogue, they're just not trying to recreate that, because you can't. They tried it with the 3DS version and by and large, I think failed in that department.
It's so odd because I think the dialogue within the cutscenes themselves is really good. Like when you see the prologue, for example, I think that's really excellently written dialogue. But then some of the rewrites I see mid mission are kind of weaker in its delivery, and it's just in its verbiage at all. Like Slippy's getting chased down, and he's like, "Oh, can you get that for me? I'm trying to fix something." And then he's not like, "Whoa, help me, Fox!" And just like it kind of lost some of the energy of that Slippy. I don't know. There's some bits and pieces that just don't feel like they deliver as well. And there's some lines that they'll never match the delivery of the N64 original, no matter what they do. But I don't know. It's just a lot of half and half, it feels like, with this game so far, anyways.
I don't disagree with you. I feel like some of the in-game dialogue that we saw was definitely weaker than the original Star Fox 64. I feel like, and there are iconic things, right? Like, Pepe's new voice actor isn't going to nail the do a barrel roll. He's not going to nail the "you're becoming more like your father" in the same way. And so it'll be interesting because I think that, like Brandon said, in some ways it's clear that it's not trying to be like Star Fox 64, but I mean, it's also very obviously a remake of, Daniel, you lined it up shot for shot. And so you can see that the level design seems to be completely unchanged. Mechanically, I don't expect it to be a ton different, outside of the inclusion of like new control schemes. I don't expect it to feel like, if you have that Star Fox 64 muscle memory, I don't expect this new Star Fox to feel all that different to you. Like, if you know what to do, you know what to do. If you know the secret routes, you're still going to know them in this new one. They showed the secret route on Corneria, in the direct. So I think that that's going to be very interesting to see how it feels once people are actually, on the sticks, as it were, like playing the game. I feel like it'll feel like equal parts foreign and familiar. And that's kind of cool to me. Like, a remake should feel pretty dang familiar. But I would say that this is for me almost as exciting as a setup for a potential Star Fox 2 as it is as a remake.
They also have an aversion to calling it a remake. I don't think they've ever uttered that word. Like, they say it's no. They say it's based on Star Fox 64, and that's all they said.
Well, that's promising. That's very interesting. I struggle to keep up with the official lingo used sometimes, but
I mean, I view it more as a reimagining. I don't think it means much more than that, but it's worth noting.
For me, I think the issue that I have with not, staying away from remake, I get why some people may want to. There's a connotation there that some publishers may want to avoid, but when you see how similar they are, like in Daniel's comparison, it's hard to call it anything but. Like, I would draw the line, like, FF7 remake trilogy is technically a remake trilogy, but realistically, like you said, it's a reimagining, right? Like, that's where I would kind of make that distinction, is how different is it? Like, do different story beats actually occur? And for all we know, maybe they do. Obviously there seems to be quite a bit of cutscene content, in between missions, and maybe that adds some narrative stuff, or maybe there is some actual new levels or something that Nintendo is just holding back from us. But I'm going into this kind of expecting like Star Fox 64 with cutscenes and way better graphics. And that way I know that I won't be disappointed by stuff that I don't end up getting.
I've never seen the internet explode with so many memes, both positive and negative, about the same game after a direct in a very long time. Like, I recently did a video for Star Fox Assault, and Brandon was on it with me, and Amalia was on it with us too. And poor Amalia is heartbroken over this game.
Oh no!
because of the direction that they're going with it. Because I don't know, everyone has their valid points about the game. I don't hate it. It's doing a lot of things that I appreciate that the game is getting. The fact that we're getting a Star Fox game at all, the series is still alive. There's just that lingering feeling of like, oh, this could have been something with a new story. This could have been something to reintroduce characters like Crystal and Panther back into like the mainline series. You could have taken over a timeline from Command, or just been even an HD something remake of Assault even. Because It's funny how they brought up different the Star Fox timeline, SNES Star Fox, Star Fox 64, Star Fox Adventures, Smash Brothers. That was the
Yeah.
timeline.
They buried like 4 or 5 Star Fox games.
That's all the games they're in.
They shot them and buried them.
I was so hoping that they were going to announce that Adventures was coming to NSO. I was like, please give me that game. So because I know we're running low on time here. I want to ask you guys this, just wish list, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat mode. What is the one thing that is not in Star Fox 64 that you would want to see in this new Star Fox?
I want to see Faye and Miyu join the team at the end of the game. That's my pie in the sky thing.
That would be cool. I'm with it.
May just pointed out to me that there are no women avatars. And I said, wonder about that.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some. What about you, Daniel?
Literally the only one we have is Cat, and even Cat looks way different. Like, just looks like a white cat. Where's the pink? There's no pink on her. The machine is pink, but okay. Something that I wanted to see that I'm probably not going to see in this game. Was that the question?
Yeah.
Oh man.
You want Andros to turn into General Scales instead of the other way around.
Oh my god, that's going to be the twist. At the end, have some kind of hints, some kind of lead in that there's going to be something beyond this. Like they could do a little hint that there is going to be Crystal in the next game, whether it's something to do with adventures or just jump to assault, something that kind of leads into the fact that they have plans for the future of the series, and it's not just going to end, for another 10 years, for example. Like I want to be able to see that there's plans in motion, that they're thinking ahead from these blueprints they're laying down now.
I'm going into the game feeling like that's happening, and that might be contributing to the positivity too, because I feel like this is the beginning. You're expanding the world, but why?
Yeah. I mean, investing this much, casting voice actors, doing this type of, this is triple A level quality that we're seeing. I feel like there does have to be a continued investment there. It would not surprise me if they were using this as a springboard to launch, additional games. My pie in the sky thing, which I want to be clear, is not happening. So this is based on nothing other than selfish desire. I want them to add one more secret route to the game. I want it to be very difficult to get to, like insanely hard. Like you have to prove that you're an ace pilot just to be able to do this. But at the end of it, I want it to rip a hole in space and send Star Fox to the Mushroom Kingdom. And I want some levels in the Mario universe.
Oh,
he turns into a cartoon fox when he gets there.
Yeah,
that's the lore.
I want him to end up having to escort Peach and Toad and fight Bowser and Bowser Jr. Just let him fight. I want that so bad.
I will say it would have been neat if the final mid route level before Venom had gotten added back into the game. Because there used to be one. You can see it in old magazine photos. That there used to be a level that wasn't Area 6 or Bulse that led to Venom, and that would have been neat to have that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would really, really like that. So I have to ask you guys, Daniel, I know you're not as thrilled as Brandon and I are about Star Fox, but are you picking it up?
Yeah, we'll complain and we'll say this sucks and we want to have another one. But if I don't pick it up, if I don't support the series, what's going to happen to it? It's going to flounder again. And I think this, with the install base that Switch had, Switch 2 will eventually become, this could end up being the best-selling Star Fox game. It probably will be the best-selling Star Fox game the series has ever seen.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I also wanted to mention, we haven't talked about multiplayer, but I would be sad if Daniel didn't get it so we could play multiplayer together.
That's true. The multiplayer, at the very least, the 4-on-4, that looks really cool. I want to give that a shot. It's something that they're really, Star Fox multiplayer is something that Brandon and I are passionate about. And so it'd be a poetically tragic if I didn't get this so we could play together.
This is the meme, two muscly arms clasping hands point for Daniel and I.
We'll agree on this.
In the middle,
Take
it's
your
just
weird
multiplayer.
animals.
I'll say
Weird.
this though, I hope you enjoy the game. I mean, I'll be sad if you don't. I'll be sad if I don't. There's a chance I end up hating the game. We don't know.
Oh my god! Listen, we gotta we gotta at least team up on multiplayer. You can be realistic Wolf. I can be Durango Leon Pulowski, and we can band together.
Here's Durango Leon Pulowski.
He just looks like Durango, dude. You gotta
He
look at his
does.
photos. At the very least, also Andros looks sick. Like that design looks really good for Andros.
I think
like
I got the vibe from the cutscene. I don't know if you guys did that. We're gonna find out how he went from regular monkey to floating head.
I feel like if you go hyper realistic the way they have, you have to explain why there's a giant monkey head. Like, because he's like, hey, I'm Andros's nephew, and I'm a regular monkey. And he's like,
If
my
you
uncle,
look in
though,
the trailer,
is a
when
giant...
his comm comes on screen, he has a body.
Yeah, he's normal. This is where they're still addressing him as Dr. Andros, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I love that Nintendo is doing proper lore for Star Fox. I want to see this happen to more things. I don't need proper lore in Mario, but I mean, we've always had like a kind of environmental storytelling at best in most of their games. I really just want like explicit lore, like people saying things.
You know that this is the result of Yoshiaki Koizumi being a part of the team, adding the narrative part of it, where Miyamoto would have never done such a thing for a lot of the stuff that I've seen thus far, as far as the cutscenes go.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was vocal about wanting narrative.
We technically still don't know who developed it, but I feel like Koizumi wouldn't have presented the direct if he was not involved.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I imagine he's the director, or at least the producer, if not the director of the game.
If we find out this was like an EPD game, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, well, you have to wonder, right? Because I mean, Koizumi has famously been in charge of the Mario franchise for a while, and so I imagine John and I were talking about it. I feel like this is probably something that maybe like an external house helped with, but Koizumi oversaw while presumably continuing to work on whatever the next 3D Mario is.
Yeah, for sure. Bottom line again for me, this is really weird and I'm interested in seeing what happens.
All right, fellas, closing thoughts. Do you have any last things you want to get out about Star Fox before we wrap up today? Oh, Daniel's retrieving something.
Where is Grippy Toad? Where's realistic Grippy Toad? Or Beltino? Where's Slippy's family? Is anybody else going to show up?
Man.
Is he going to
can't
show
get rid of Beltino Toad.
It's been retconned.
I guess final thought is I'm interested in seeing what happens and very curious at the reception to the game post-launch.
Well, we don't have long to wait. It is divisive, but Star Fox is out in just over a month, June 25th. So right after Summer Game Fest and right after all the big announcements, we get to play a brand new friggin' Star Fox game. And if you're like me and you don't like to wait, you also can get this podcast a day early. Did you know that? Patreon.com/GVGaming for as little as $5 a month. Silver tier and up gets each and every episode of The Win in audio form one day before it's live on any other platform. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, listening, if you're anywhere else, and we'll see you guys next time. I hope you're happy, safe, and healthy wherever you are, and we'll be back next week for another episode of The Week in Nintendo. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Till we meet again.